Vaughn lowered his claws. It was a small movement. Just a few centimeters. But it meant everything. The tension in the air began to break like ice cracking in spring. His yellow eyes still burned with anger. His body still shook with the desire to attack. But somewhere deep inside him, something older and wiser had taken control. The survival instinct of a million generations was screaming at him. Do not fight this creature. Do not provoke the patient hunters. The debt, Vaughn said through clenched teeth. The debt still exists. The girl still owes us. Taiho nodded slowly. How much? 50,000 credits, Vaughn said. Her father borrowed it to save his failing business. He promised to pay it back with interest. He died before he could. Taiho turned to look at Lara. She was still standing by the fountain, frozen in place. Her silver eyes were wide with shock. She could not believe what was happening. The most feared predators in the sector were negotiating with a human. A human she had laughed at just hours ago. Is this true? Taiho asked her. Lyra nodded slowly. My father was a good man. He made a bad decision. I did not know about the debt until after he died. I do not have that much money. I do not know what to do. Taiho turned back to Vaughn. Give her time to pay. Time? Vaughn growled. We have already given 1 year, Taiho said. Give her 1 year. She will pay the debt. I guarantee it. Vaughn stepped forward quickly. Vaughn, this is a good deal. We get our money. Nobody gets hurt. Everyone wins. Vaughn stared at Taiho. You guarantee it? How? You are just a wandering mercenary. What can you possibly offer as a guarantee? My word, Taiho said simply. Vaughn laughed bitterly. Your word? That is nothing. That is air. That is air. That is, if she does not pay in 1 year, Taiho interrupted. You can come find me. I will not run. I will not hide. You can do whatever you want to me. But if she pays, you never bother her again. Never come near her. Never speak to her. The debt is closed forever. The offer hung in the air. It was insane. This small human was offering himself as collateral for a debt he had no part in. For a girl who had mocked him and called him weak. Gorn leaned close to Vaughn and whispered something. Vaughn listened, his eyes never leaving Taiho. Finally, the craft leader nodded. 1 year, he said. 50,000 credits. If the payment is even 1 credit short, I will find you both and take what I am owed. Agreed, Taiho said. Vaughn turned and walked away. Gorn followed quickly, relief clear on his old face. The youngest Krath lingered for a moment, staring at Taiho with confused eyes. Then he too turned and followed his leaders. Their footsteps echoed through the empty bazaar. Softer and softer. Until finally, they were gone. Silence fell over the fountain. The orange lights flickered overhead. Somewhere in the distance, a ship engine hummed to life. Lyra took a shaky step toward Taiho. Then another. Then she was standing right in front of him. Why? She asked. Her voice was barely a whisper. Why did you help me? I laughed at you. I called you weak. I treated you like you were nothing. Taiho shrugged. You were scared. People do stupid things when they are scared. Besides, you were not wrong. By galactic standards, humans are weak. We have no claws, no natural weapons, no armor. We are soft and slow and small. Then how? Lyra asked. How did you make them run away? How did you scare the apex predators of the sector with just words? Taiho was quiet for a moment. He looked up at the distant ceiling of the bazaar, at the artificial stars that dotted the metal sky. Humans are weak, he said slowly. This is true, but we have something that other species do not understand. We have will. We have determination. We have the ability to keep going when everything tells us to stop. He looked back at her. On my home world, there is a word called endurance. It means the ability to survive pain and hardship without giving up. Humans have more endurance than any other species in the galaxy. We can run for days without rest. We can survive wounds that would kill others. We can push through fear and pain and exhaustion until we achieve our goals. He touched the tattoo on his arm. This mark means I trained to use that ability, to become a weapon made of patience and will. My teachers told us that a battle is not won in the first seconds. It is won in the hours and days and years that follow. The one who wins is not the fastest or the strongest. It is the one who refuses to stop. Lyra stared at him. Her silver eyes were filled with something new. Not amusement. Not mockery. Something deeper. Something like respect. You were really going to fight them, she said. 3 Krath warriors. And you were going to fight them alone. If I had to, Taiho said. But fighting is the last choice. The best victory is one where nobody dies. That is what my father taught me. Your father was a soldier too? He was a farmer, Taiho said. But he understood something important. He understood that being strong does not mean being violent. Real strength is knowing when to fight and when to stand still. When to speak and when to stay silent. When to show anger and when to show patience. He started to walk away from the fountain. His boots echoed on the metal floor. Where are you going? Lyra called after him. I need to find work, Taiho said over his shoulder. My ship needs fuel. And apparently, I now have to help you earn 50,000 credits in 1 year. Lyra hurried to catch up with him. She fell into step beside him, her shorter legs working hard to match his steady pace. You do not have to help me, she said. The guarantee you made was too much. I will find a way to pay the debt on my own. You should not risk yourself for someone like me. Taiho kept walking. Someone like you? What does that mean? I was cruel to you, Lyra said. Her voice was thick with shame. I called you weak. A pet. I laughed at you in front of everyone. You should hate me. Taiho stopped and looked at her. His dark eyes were calm and warm. Hate takes energy, he said. Patience does not. Besides, holding grudges is for enemies. You made a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is what you do next. Lyra felt tears coming to her eyes again. But these were different tears. Not fear, not pain. Something else. Something she did not quite understand. Thank you, she said. It was such a simple phrase, but she meant it with her whole heart. Taiho nodded and started walking again. Thank me after we earn 50,000 credits. We have a lot of work to do. They walked together through the bazaar. The lights were changing again. Blue now, soft and gentle. Night cycle was beginning. The remaining aliens watched them pass. Whispers followed them like shadows. A human, walking freely through the bazaar. A human who had faced down 3 Krath and made them run. A human who was soft and small and clawless. A human who was not weak at all. Word would spread. Stories would be told. On ships and stations across the sector, beings would hear about the patience hunter of the Void Bazaar. About the small creature who did not need claws because his will was sharper than any blade. And some would remember the ancient truth that their ancestors had forgotten. Humans do not need to be fast. Humans do not need to be strong. Humans just need time. And humans never stop coming. As they walked toward the docking bay, Lyra asked one more question. What now? Taiho smiled. It was a real smile this time. Warm. Human. Now, he said, we begin. One step at a time. Like humans always do. And they walked on together into the artificial night. Steady. Patient. Unstoppable. just like humanity had always been. But the leader stopped after only 2 steps. His pride was burning inside him like a fire. He was the leader of the Krath Hunters. He had killed 100 enemies. He had never run from a fight. Never. And now he was supposed to walk away from a single human. A small, soft, clawless creature? No, he could not do it. His honor would not allow it. He turned back around. His yellow eyes burned with rage. "I do not care about old stories," he said. His voice was loud and angry. "I do not care about legends and myths. This is just one human. One weak, pathetic human. And I am Vorn, leader of the Red Claw Pack. I have never run from anything in my life." Gorn grabbed his arm. "Vorn, please. You did not see what I saw. You do not understand." Vorn pushed him away. "I understand that you have become old and afraid, that you see shadows where there are none. This human is nothing, and I will prove it." He stepped toward Taiho. Each step made the ground shake. His claws extended to their full length. Each one was as long as a knife, sharp enough to cut through metal. "You think you can scare me with silence and calm eyes?" Vorn said. "You think your little mind tricks will work on me? I am an apex predator. I was born to kill. It is in my blood, in my bones, in every part of my being." He stopped just 1 meter away from Taiho. He towered over the human like a mountain. His shadow blocked out the light. "I am going to tear you apart," Vorn said. "Slowly, piece by piece. And then I am going to take the girl and sell her to the highest bidder. And there is nothing you can do to stop me." Taiho looked up at him. The size difference was almost funny. The Krath was twice his height and 3 times his weight. His claws could cut through armor. His teeth could crush bone. By every measure, this should have been an unfair fight. But Taiho did not look worried. He did not look scared. He looked patient, like he was waiting for a bus, like he had all the time in the universe. "Are you finished?" Taiho asked. Vorn's eye twitched. "What? Talking?" Taiho said. "Are you finished talking? I want to make sure you have said everything you want to say." Vorn bared his teeth. "You mock me? You dare mock me?" "I am not mocking you," Taiho said calmly. "I am giving you a chance. A final chance. Walk away now, and this ends. Stay, and it does not end well for you." Vorn laughed. It was a loud, ugly sound. "Does not end well for me? I could kill you with 1 hand. What could you possibly do to me?" Taiho was silent for a moment. Then he spoke, his voice still calm and steady. "Do you know what marathon means?" Vorn frowned. "What?" "Marathon," Taiho repeated. "It is a human word. It comes from an old story. Thousands of years ago, on my homeworld, a human soldier ran from one city to another to deliver an important message. He ran for 42 kilometers without stopping. When he arrived, he delivered his message and then died from exhaustion." He paused. "But here is the important part," Taiho continued. "He did not have to run. He chose to run because the message was important, because his people needed him. He pushed his body past its limits until his heart gave out. And he did it willingly." Vorn did not understand. "What is your point?" "My point," Taiho said, "is that humans are different from other species. We do not run because we are scared. We run because we choose to. We can push our bodies far beyond what should be possible. We can ignore pain, ignore exhaustion, ignore fear. When we decide to do something, nothing stops us. Nothing." He took a step forward. Just 1 small step. But it changed everything. "Your friend told you about persistence hunting," Taiho said. "He told you how my ancestors would chase animals for days until they died from exhaustion. But he left out the most important detail. And what is that? Vorn asked. His voice was not as confident now. We did not just hunt animals, Taiho said. We hunted everything. Every predator on our planet learned to fear us. The lions, the tigers, the wolves. They were faster than us, stronger than us. They had claws and fangs and killing instincts. But we won. We always won. Not because we were stronger, but because we never stopped. He took another step forward. When a lion sees a human coming, it runs, Taiho said. When a tiger hears human footsteps, it hides. They learned over millions of years that fighting humans was suicide. Because even if they won the first fight, more humans would come. And more, and more. Until the predator was dead and the humans were eating its children. Vorn's eyes flickered. For the first time, there was doubt in them. I am not a soldier anymore, Taiho said. I am just a man looking for work. I do not want to fight you. I do not want to hunt you. But if you hurt that girl, you become my prey. And I promise you on everything I am, I will not stop until you are dead. Not today. Not tomorrow. Maybe not for years. But one day, you will close your eyes, and I will be there. Waiting, patient, ready. The air felt different now, heavier, darker. Something primal was awakening. Something ancient and terrifying. I have walked across deserts, Taiho said. I have crawled through jungles. I have crossed frozen mountains with broken legs and empty stomachs. I have done things that would kill any other species in the galaxy. And I did them because I chose to. Because giving up is not in my nature. It is not in any human's nature. He looked directly into Vorn's yellow eyes. You call yourself an apex predator. You think you are at the top of the food chain. But you are wrong. You are only at the top when there are no humans around. When we arrive, everything changes. Every predator becomes prey. Every hunter becomes hunted. He smiled again. That same quiet, patient smile. Run. It was just one word. One simple word. But it hit Vorn like a physical blow. He actually took a step backward before he realized what he was doing. I am not afraid of you, he said. But his voice cracked. Just a little. I know, Taiho said. Fear comes later. Right now, you feel confused, uncertain. Your instincts are telling you something is wrong, but your pride will not let you listen. I understand. I have seen it before. Many times. He tilted his head slightly. Let me make this simple. If you walk away now, you live. If you attack me, you might win today. You might kill me right here. But then my friends will come. My family, my people. Humans have something called grudges. We hold on to them for generations. Your children will never be safe. Your grandchildren will never be safe. We will remember. We always remember. Gorn stepped forward. He grabbed Vorn's arm again. Please, the old Kras said. His voice was desperate. He is telling the truth. I have seen it. They do not forget. They do not forgive. They will hunt us to the ends of the universe. Is one Villani girl worth the destruction of our entire pack? Vorn stood frozen. His body was shaking. Not from fear, but from the war inside him. Pride against survival. Anger against wisdom. Taiho waited. He did not move. Did not speak. He just stood there with that infinite patience that had terrified predators for millions of years. The moment stretched on, and on and then Vorn made his choice. The old Kras' name was Gorn. He had lived for over 200 cycles. He had fought in wars across the galaxy. He had killed more creatures than he could count. He had seen things that would break the minds of weaker beings. But right now, looking at the small human in front of him, He felt something he had not felt in a very long time. Fear. The leader looked at Gorn with confusion. What are you talking about? He is just a human. One of the weakest species in the galaxy. We could tear him apart in seconds. No, Gorn said. His voice was low and serious. We could not. And even if we could, it would not matter. More would come. They always come. He turned to face his leader. His yellow eyes were filled with a dark memory. 20 cycles ago, Gorn began, I was young, stupid, strong. I served in the border wars, fighting for the highest bidder. One mission took us to a small planet at the edge of human space. We were sent to kill a target, a human scientist who had stolen important data. The leader crossed his arms. He was impatient. So, what does this have to do with anything? Listen, Gorn said. The mission was supposed to be easy. 5 of us went down to the planet. 5 Krath warriors in our prime. The scientist was protected by only 1 guard. 1 human soldier. We laughed when we saw him. He was small, soft. He had no claws. No fangs, no armor. Just a simple weapon and a pair of tired eyes. Gorn paused. His gaze drifted to something far away. Something only he could see. We attacked at night. We killed the scientist quickly. But the soldier escaped into the forest. We thought it would be easy to catch him. We were faster, stronger. We could see in the dark. We could smell his fear. Then what happened? The leader asked. We chased him, Gorn said. Through the forest. Over hills. Across rivers. We ran for hours. But no matter how fast we went, he was always just ahead. Always moving. Never stopping. He shook his head slowly. At first, we thought nothing of it. We were Krath, apex predators. We could run longer than any other species. But as the hours passed, something strange happened. We began to tire. Our legs burned. Our lungs screamed. We needed rest. We needed water. We needed to stop. But he did not stop, Gorn continued. The human just kept going. Not fast, not slow. Just steady. 1 foot after another. Like a machine. Like death itself walking through the forest. Lyra was listening now. Her tears had stopped. She stared at the old Krath with wide silver eyes. Even the other young Krath had gone quiet. We took turns resting, Gorn said. One would stay behind to recover while the others kept chasing. But it did not help. Every time we thought we had lost him, he would appear again. Behind us, beside us. Ahead of us, watching, waiting, following. His voice grew quieter. On the 2nd day, one of us collapsed. His heart gave out. Too much running. Too much stress. He died in the dirt while the human watched from a distance. He did not even try to attack. He just watched. And then he kept walking. The leader's face had changed. The arrogance was fading. Something else was taking its place. On the 3rd day, Gorn said, another one of us went mad. The fear broke his mind. He started screaming that the human was not real, that he was a ghost, a demon. He ran in the wrong direction and fell off a cliff. 3 of us left, Gorn said. We decided to stop running. We would face him, fight him, kill him. We were still Krath. We were still predators. We found a good spot and waited. Did he come? The leader asked. He came, Gorn said. At sunset, walking out of the trees like he had all the time in the universe. His clothes were torn. His feet were bleeding. But his eyes were calm. So calm. He looked at us like we were already dead. Gorn's claws tightened into fists. We attacked together. All 3 of us. We were fast. We were strong. But he was ready. He moved like water, like smoke. Every time we grabbed at him, he was somewhere else. He did not fight like we did. He did not use strength. He used patience. He let us attack again and again until we were too tired to lift our arms. And then, the leader asked. His voice was barely a whisper now. Then he killed us, Gorn said. One by one. Not quickly, not angrily, just efficiently. Like he was doing a job. Like we were just obstacles to clear away. He touched his chest. Under his dark skin, there was a long scar. It ran from his shoulder to his stomach. He cut me here, Gorn said. Left me for dead. But I survived. Somehow. I crawled for 3 days before someone found me. I spent a full cycle healing. And every night, I dreamed of those calm eyes following me through the forest. The bazaar was completely silent now. Even the wind seemed to have stopped. Gorn turned back to look at Taiho. The small human had not moved, had not spoken. He just stood there with that same empty calm in his dark eyes. That is what humans are, Gorn said. They are not fast. They are not strong. They do not have claws or fangs or armor. But they have something worse. They have patience. They have endurance. They never stop. Never tire. Never give up. He took a step backward. On their home world, he continued, humans did not hunt with speed or strength. They hunted with persistence. They would chase an animal for days. Not running, just walking, following, waiting. The animal would run and run until its heart exploded from exhaustion. And then the human would eat it. The leader looked at Taiho with new eyes. The small human suddenly did not look so small anymore. That mark on his arm, Gorn said, pointing at the tattoo. I have seen it before. It belongs to a special unit. Human soldiers trained in the old ways. Persistence hunters. They send them after targets that cannot be caught. Targets that run. Targets that hide. He shook his head. You cannot run from them. You cannot hide from them. If they choose to hunt you, you will die. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But eventually, they will find you. They always find you. The leader stared at Taiho for a long moment. The human stared back. There was no fear in his eyes. No anger. No excitement. Just calm. Endless calm. He is not here by accident, Gorn said. He is here because the universe put him here. And if we hurt that girl, he will come for us. He will follow us across the galaxy. Across time itself. He will walk and walk and walk until we are dead. The young Krath standing to the left spoke for the first time. But there are 3 of us. And only one of him. Surely we could... No. Gorn cut him off. If we kill him, more will come. Humans are pack hunters. They protect their own. And they remember. They never forget. Never forgive. If we kill this one, 100 more will come. 1,000. They will hunt our families. Our children. Our entire bloodline. He looked at the leader with desperate eyes. Walk away, Gorn said. The dead is not worth this. Nothing is worth this. Walk away while we still can. The leader's jaw tightened. His pride was screaming at him to attack. To prove that he was not afraid. That Krath did not run from anything. But something deeper was telling him to listen. Something old. Something from before his species learned to walk on 2 legs. A survival instinct that said, this is death. Walk away. He looked at Taiho. One last time. The human smile dot. It was a small smile. Quiet. Patient. It said, go ahead. Attack. I have time. I have nothing but time. The leader made his decision. He turned around Dodd and he walked away. 3 hours passed. The lights in the Void Bazaar changed from bright white to soft orange. This meant evening had come. Not real evening, of course. The station floated in space where there was no sun. But the aliens needed cycles of light and dark. It helped them feel normal. It helped them sleep. Taeho sat in a small bar at the edge of the bazaar. The place was dirty and dark. The tables were old. The chairs were broken. But the drinks were cheap, and nobody asked questions. It was the kind of place where mercenaries and criminals came to find work. He had found nothing today. No jobs, no money. His fuel was running low. His food was almost gone. Tomorrow, he would need to sell something from his ship. Maybe his backup engine. Maybe his medical kit. He did not like either choice. He drank something brown and bitter. It burned his throat. He did not know what it was made from. He did not care. It made the worry feel smaller. The bar was quiet. A few aliens sat in corners, speaking in low voices. A large creature with 4 arms cleaned glasses behind the counter. Music played from somewhere, soft and sad. Then the door opened. Tae-ho looked up. 3 figures walked in. They were tall, very tall, over 2.5 meters each. Their skin was dark red, almost black. Their eyes were yellow with no pupils. They had long arms with claws at the end. Sharp teeth filled their mouths. They moved like hunters, smooth, quiet, dangerous. Taeho knew what they were. Everyone in this sector knew. Krath. The Krath were apex predators. On their home world, they were at the top of the food chain. Nothing hunted them. They hunted everything else. When they came to space, nothing changed. They became killers for hire, soldiers, assassins. They were feared across 12 star systems. The 3 Krath looked around the bar. Their yellow eyes scanned every face. They were looking for someone. Taeho lowered his head and kept drinking. He did not want trouble. Not tonight. Not with Krath. The largest one spoke. His voice was deep and rough, like rocks grinding together. Where's the Vellani girl? The one called Lyra? Nobody answered. The bar became very quiet. Even the music seemed to stop. The craft leader walked to the counter. He grabbed the 4-armed bartender and lifted him off the ground with one hand. I asked a question, he said. The Vellani female. Blue skin, silver eyes. Rich family. She owes us money. A lot of money. Where is she? The bartender shook with fear. I do not know. I swear. I have not seen any Vellani tonight. The Krath stared at him for a long moment. Then he threw him against the wall. The bartender crashed into bottles and glasses. He fell to the floor and did not move. Find her, the leader said to the other 2. Search this whole sector. She cannot hide forever. Her father's debt is now her debt. And we collect all debts. They turned and walked toward the door. Taeho watched them go. He felt something cold in his stomach. The Vellani girl, Lyra, the one who laughed at him. She was in danger. Big danger. He told himself it was not his problem. She had mocked him. Called him weak. Called him a pet. Why should he care what happened to her? But something inside him would not stay quiet. A voice from long ago. A voice from his training. A voice from his father. The strong protect the weak. That is what makes us human. Taeho closed his eyes. He took a deep breath. Then he finished his drink and stood up. He was going to do something stupid. He knew it. But he could not stop himself. He walked out of the bar and into the bazaar. The evening crowd was thinner now. Many shops were closing. Aliens hurried home to their ships and quarters. The air felt different, tense, like a storm was coming. Taeho moved quickly but carefully. He followed the direction the Krath had gone. He stayed in shadows. He watched from corners. He was good at this. Years of training had made him invisible when he wanted to be. He found them near the water fountain, the same place where Lyra had laughed at him earlier. But now, she was not laughing. Lyra stood alone. Her friends were gone. Her colorful clothes were torn. Her silver eyes were wide with fear. Tears ran down her blue cheeks. She was shaking. The three Kraths surrounded her. They moved in a circle, like wolves around a trapped animal. The leader stood in front of her. His yellow eyes burned with hunger. "Your father borrowed money from us," the leader said. "A lot of money. He promised to pay it back. But then he died. Very sad. Now the debt belongs to you." "I do not have that much money," Lyra said. Her voice was small and broken. "Please, give me time. I will find a way to pay." "Time?" The Krath laughed. It was an ugly sound. "We have given enough time. Now we want payment. One way or another." He reached out and grabbed her arm. His claws dug into her blue skin. She cried out in pain. "If you cannot pay with money," he said, "then you will pay with blood. Or with service." Many buyers would pay good money for a pretty Vellani female. Lyra screamed. She tried to pull away. But the Krath was too strong. His grip was like iron. The other two Krath laughed. They enjoyed her fear. They fed on it like food. Nobody in the bazaar moved to help. Everyone looked away. Everyone pretended not to see. This was how the galaxy worked. The strong took what they wanted. The weak suffered. Nobody was stupid enough to fight the Krath. Nobody except one small human. Taiho stepped out of the shadows. He walked toward the fountain with slow, steady steps. His hands were empty. His face was calm. His dark eyes showed nothing. The Krath noticed him. The leader turned his head and looked at the small creature walking toward them. "What is this?" he said. "A human? Are you lost, little thing?" Taiho stopped a few meters away. He looked at Lyra. Her silver eyes found his. He could see her confusion. Why was he here? Why was the weak little human standing in front of the most dangerous predators in the sector? "Let her go," Taiho said. His voice was quiet but clear. The Krath stared at him. For a moment, there was only silence. Then they started to laugh. All three of them. The sound echoed through the empty bazaar. "Let her go?" The leader said. "And why would we do that? Because you asked? Because a tiny human told us to. Because if you do not," Taiho said, "things will become very unpleasant for you." The laughter stopped. The leader's yellow eyes narrowed. He let go of Lyra's arm and turned to face Taiho fully. His full height was terrifying. He was almost twice as tall as the human. His claws glinted in the orange light. "You dare threaten us?" he said. "Do you know who we are? Do you know what we do to creatures that threaten us?" Taiho did not move, did not blink, did not look away. "I know exactly what you are," he said. "The question is, do you know what I am?" The leader smiled. His sharp teeth showed in rows. "You are food," he said. Nothing more. He took a step toward Taiho Dot, and then something strange happened. The oldest Krath, the one standing to the right, suddenly went still. His yellow eyes grew wide. He was looking at Taiho's arm, at the tattoo, the skull with wings, the numbers, the Korean letters. He grabbed the leader's shoulder and pulled him back. "Wait," he said. His voice was urgent, scared. "Look at his arm. Look at the mark." The leader looked. He did not understand. "What about it?" "It is just a human symbol." "No," the old Krath said. "I have seen this mark before. 20 cycles ago. On the border wars." His voice dropped to a whisper. "He is one of them. One of the persistence hunters. The leader's smile faded. What? The old craft's eyes never left Taiho. I will tell you a story, he said. A story about why we should walk away. Right now. The Void Bazaar was loud. It was always loud. Thousands of aliens from hundreds of worlds walked through the massive metal halls. They shouted. They argued. They made deals in dark corners. The air smelled like burned oil and strange food. Lights of every color flashed from shops and stalls. It was the biggest trading station in this part of the galaxy. Taiho walked through the crowd alone. He was not tall. He was not wide. By human standards, he was average. But here, among these aliens, he looked small. Very small. Some of the creatures around him stood 3 meters tall. Others had 4 arms or 6 legs. Some had scales. Some had fur. Some had skin that changed color with their mood. Taiho wore simple clothes. Dark pants. A gray jacket. Old boots that had seen many planets. On his left arm, there was a tattoo. It showed a skull with wings. Below it were numbers and Korean letters. It was a military mark. A mark from his old life on Earth. He had been a soldier once. A good one. Then the wars ended, and there was no more work for men like him. So he came to space. Many humans did. They took jobs as guards, hunters, or fighters. Humans were new to the galaxy. Most aliens thought they were weak, soft, easy to kill. Taiho did not care what they thought. He walked toward a food stall and bought something that looked like meat on a stick. He did not ask what animal it came from. He learned long ago that it was better not to know. The food was hot and salty. It was good enough. As he ate, he looked around the bazaar. He needed work. His ship needed fuel. His stomach needed food. The universe did not give things for free. A group of young aliens sat near a water fountain in the center of the bazaar. They were Vellani, a species known for their blue skin and large eyes. They were beautiful by most standards. Their bodies were thin and graceful. Their voices were soft like music. The Vellani were traders and artists. They were not fighters. One of them was a female named Lyra. She was young, maybe 20 cycles old. Her skin was pale blue, and her eyes were silver. She wore colorful clothes with many jewels. She was clearly from a rich family. Her friends sat around her, laughing and drinking something sweet. Lyra noticed Taiho first. She pointed at him and said something to her friends. They all turned to look. Then they started to laugh. Taiho heard them. He did not react. He kept eating his food. Lyra stood up and walked toward him. Her friends followed, still giggling. She stopped a few steps away and looked at him from head to toe. Her silver eyes were full of amusement. "What are you?" she asked. Her voice was light and playful. "Human?" Taiho said. He did not look at her. He kept eating. Lyra giggled again. "Human? I have heard of your kind. You come from a small wet planet. Yes? You have no claws, no fangs, no armor. How do you survive?" Taiho finished his food and threw away the stick. He finally looked at her. His eyes were calm, dark, empty of emotion. "We manage," he said. Lyra laughed louder this time. Her friends joined her. "You manage? That is funny. Look at you. You are so small. So soft. I could push you over with one hand." "You could try," Taiho said. The laughter stopped for a moment. Lyra's silver eyes grew wide. Then she laughed again, but this time it was nervous. "You are brave for something so weak," she said. "What do you do here? Are you someone's pet?" Taiho's face did not change. "I am looking for work. Fighting work." This made everyone laugh again. The sound was loud and sharp. Other aliens in the bazaar turned to look, Fighting work? Lyra said through her giggles. You? A human? The Krath would eat you in seconds. The Morak would step on you without noticing. What could you possibly fight? Anything that needs fighting, Taiho said. Lyra shook her head. She looked at her friends with a big smile. Humans are strange. They do not know their place. They think they are strong, but they are the weakest species in the galaxy. Taiho said nothing. He had heard this many times before. On every station, on every planet, humans were new. Humans were small. Humans were weak. He had stopped arguing long ago. Words meant nothing. Only actions mattered. Let me give you advice, little human, Lyra said. She leaned closer to him. Her sweet perfume filled the air. Go home. Go back to your wet little planet. This galaxy is not for creatures like you. Here, the strong eat the weak. And you are very, very weak. Taiho looked into her silver eyes. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then he spoke, his voice low and steady. The galaxy is big, he said. There is room for everyone, even the weak. Lyra smiled and patted his head like he was a child. So cute. So stupid. I almost feel sorry for you. She turned and walked back to her friends. They continued to laugh and point at him. Taiho watched them go. His face showed nothing. But deep inside, he felt something. Not anger. Not shame. Just a quiet patience. A patience that humans had carried for millions of years. He turned away and continued walking through the bazaar. He needed work. He needed money. The laughter behind him faded into the noise of the crowd. He did not know that in just a few hours, that same laughing girl would need his help. He did not know that the apex predators of this sector were coming for her. And he did not know that before this day ended, everyone in this bazaar would learn why humans were not weak. They would learn why the galaxy should fear the patient ones. But for now, Taiho just walked. One step at a time, like humans always did. Slow, steady, unstoppable. The universe would teach its lesson soon enough.